Shit, let's go. Yo, hello, and welcome back to Almost Above Average. I'm here with Chris McIntyre, and I'm the infamous Jonathan, the almost above average, not quite average, almost. Anyway,
Very much above average.
so today I want to take a few minutes and talk about a comment Trump made, and the media's not latched onto this, and I'm really disappointed in this because that man versus bear mentality has taken a hold of our senses, and it's awful. Do you have the clip of him saying that?
Of him saying what?
That we are completely and utterly ready for nuclear war.
No, I had a different clip.
So recently, Trump, threatened Russia over his actions in Ukraine. And there's a bunch of stuff going on with India. We'll get to that another time. But I wanted to focus on the Russia aspect. So Russia is not part of NATO. But the reason we don't go into armed aggression is they've told us that they will retaliate. And the reason we keep our nuclear weapon systems on regiment, program, strategy, whatever you want to call it, that we have now, which is multiple times testing, turnkey, dead drop. The reason we have nuclear subs that just patrol the ocean at any given time isn't because they're trying to intercept anything. Those nuclear subs are in place as a dead man's trigger. For those who don't know what a dead man's trigger is, let's walk through the nuclear scenario. We have technology that watches nuclear missile silos all over the world, the ones that we know about, the ones that are detected. But if one escapes that net and gets launched, the odds of shooting it down once it reaches a certain velocity are so low, it's practically zero. So if a nuclear intercontinental ballistic missile is launched and we can't catch it within the first hour, half an hour, something like that, I don't know what the actual number is, but it's not like hours. We don't have hours to prep for this. But intercepting something at hypersonic speeds is just so unbelievably low that if it launches, most likely, like 99% chance, it's going to land. So if they launch one at New York and we can't take it out on the ground, or we can't take it out before it starts reaching velocity, we're hosed. That bomb is going to hit. That warhead's going to hit the place it is intended to hit. So this
I heard
idea
reporting
that
on this for a couple reports, and then it kind of went away. Why do you think this isn't a bigger deal? If we're sending
because
nuclear subs into the Russian Sea, that's a move of aggression. That's an act of aggression.
you're assuming it actually happened too. He may have ordered it, and then the military is like, "Nah, homie, we ain't doing that shit." Or maybe they did, and Putin backed down. I don't know. But the fact is, we have somebody in office who doesn't know how nuclear weapons work. They don't know what nuclear defense is, and they don't know what is involved from a realistic scenario of what would happen if somebody pulled that trigger or launched push that button and launch that nuke. But my point was, we don't have defensive capabilities because they don't exist anywhere in the world that we know of that can reliably shoot down an intercontinental ballistic missile. Now, people are
We
like,
need a
well, we
Golden
shot
Dome,
down.
right? What about the Golden Dome?
So there's a difference between a type of artillery, and that's what the difference in a Golden Dome is versus reality. The Golden Dome was protecting against ground based, known location, fixed target launches at non hypersonic velocity. What is easier to catch, a bullet or a balloon? A balloon's easier to catch, lower velocity, easier to catch, right? So the missiles that were launched out of Iran into Israel were lower speed, easier to target. Now think about this. How hard is it to avoid a car that's driving 100 miles an hour versus driving a car that's driving 20 miles an hour? You're going to be able to avoid the one at 20 miles an hour much easier than the one driving 100 miles an hour. That's the metaphor, right? Like the balloon's easier to catch because it's going slower. It's easier to grab a hold of. I can track it better as it's moving through the air, and I can move relative speed to it better than I can one that's going a bullet. I'm not going to be able to move that out of the path of that bullet. It's going to go. By the time we can react, it's just too late. And the same thing for intercontinental ballistic. Those are hypersonic missiles. They're moving faster than the speed of sound. You know that sound barrier break, that crack, it can go faster than that.
Sonic boom.
So these missiles, when launched Either intercept it before you go hypersonic or you're done. They're going to land. So the idea that we are prepared for nuclear war is hogwash, utter bullshit. It's insanity. And the fact that our president thinks moving nuclear subs to threaten a nuclear armed country is going to get them to come to the table on trade deals and get them out of Ukraine after they've lost 1 million soldiers in there, calm the fudge on. That,
Trump
in
has
my
he
mind, is
broke
one of,
decades of protocol by openly announcing nuclear submarine moves in Russia.
yeah, yeah. Like everything about this is so catastrophically stupid
We
that he
shouldn't know
should be
that though.
fully impeached on this alone. Like
A
this, in
public
my mind, is
shouldn't know. We
impeachable.
shouldn't know where president is sending our top
No,
secret
we should
nuclear sub.
know. No,
Why the hell are we
the
talking
average
about it?
American citizen should not know where our nuclear subs at any given time are. You know why? Because they're ineffective if they're just popping up, waving at everybody. They're
Yeah.
dead men triggers. They're meant that if the U.S. falls, they can launch. Or if they need to launch and hit a target before they do anything, like let's say Russia started moving when its ICBMs into place, our satellites spot it, we could launch a Tomahawk from one of our subs in probably, what, half an hour? Way before they could get that thing even moved up into launch position and take them out before they get a chance to launch it. So there are different scenarios that we could play out here. But to say we are going to move 2 of our subs from an unknown, undisclosed, in the middle of the ocean location to a specific location is just asinine. It's
This
stupid.
was all started too after a heated social media exchange with Trump versus the ex-president Medvedev. Do you think it's dangerous for world powers and these nuclear assets to be dragged into spats born out of online posturing?
For sure. It's to threaten somebody with nuclear action because of them not accepting your timetable. It's just it's it's reckless at best and it's impeachable at worst. Like
You want to?
it's nuclear war at worst. It's this is I don't think people are really putting onto it the significant, and some people are going to be like, oh, you're fear mongering, you're just like, no. When it comes to nuclear weapons, there's not enough fear I can put in your place. People think we can survive a nuclear strike. They think we can do this, that, or the other thing. It's like, no, homie, this isn't Hiroshima. This isn't Nagasaki.
The
These
society that I
bombs
grew
that they're
up
talking.
in, it's always been discussed in school, in workplaces, my whole life that the next time a nuclear weapon is launched at another country, we're all going to launch them and the world is going to end. That is kind of the reality I have accepted my entire life.
And I think that's a very fair answer. So let's look at this. You launch one, and there's been multiple scenarios discussed with this. Like, okay, so let's say Russia launches 10. Just a fun number, right? 10
Yep. If
nuclear
we take out
weapons.
Russia, we take out North Korea,
No,
Iran.
no. By the time they're in the air, by the time Donald Dump Truck reacts, we've already lost hours because you got to get him on his Adderall, you got to get him up to speed, blah, blah, blah. And then he's the one that approves it and launches it. It's not like Joe Schmo in a nuclear solid goes, oh, there it is, boop, and it hits the button. No, it don't work that way. He has to have to do the football. He has to read the menu. Do you know about the menu on the football? There's different scenarios. Go look it up. Basically, a menu. Like, how do you want to retaliate? Do you want to just hit the opponent? Do you want to hit the opponent and his allies? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And then he has to make a decision. And then he has to put in the code. And then that gets sent down to the silos. And then they have to break the code. And then they have to verify it. And then they send it. And they verify it against books in their silo. There's like
That
this
sounds
whole
like a 45
process.
minute process. That sounds like a whole lot.
Easily. Do you really think we're going to shoot down nuclear tactical intercontinental ballistic missiles that are hypersonic in an hour? Man, those things will
No,
almost
we
be
want
here
to
by
live in a
then.
world where we can be blissfully ignorant the way we have been since the Nagasaki
Right.
bombs went
Go
off.
back to MAD. So MAD is mutually assured destruction. We have nuclear weapons because we don't want to use them. But we know that if we didn't have them, we would always be in fear of the people that did have them. So we have them, other people have them. That's why nobody's fired them. It's because they're that egregious. Now, but going back to the Nagasaki comment I made, the ones that were detonated during World War II, the 2 nuclear bombs, are potatoes compared to what we have now. They are nothing. It's like a 22 versus a an
45?
249 machine gun. It's like
50 cal.
catastrophically different in damage. My understanding is of the current one, not only would it take out the city, it'd take out most of the state, and the shockwaves would be felt across the country. It's that impactful. Imagine 10 of those. The United States would be ruined for generations. Now, I did hear, what's that? The scientist guy that, not Bill Nye, the other
Neil
one.
deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, he was talking about it the other day on one of his podcasts, and he said, you don't have to worry about the nuclear fallout as much because of the changes. So one of the big things they worried about was nuclear radiation clouds from the detonations moving across the country. But they said that's not as much of an issue. But I think what he was really saying is the blast damage in the EMP would be so significant, it would take out further than the Nagasaki Hiroshima bombs, and we would have a greater effective damage radius, so much that the radiation would be less impactful. But that doesn't mean there's not going to be a radiation cloud. That doesn't mean we're not going to have stuff in the sky.
It'll be post-apocalyptic world after nuclear.
Yeah. So if
one nuclear bomb goes off, then a whole bunch are going to go off, and then we have to rethink.
Yeah,
society.
and if Russia launches, the U.S. launches,
China launches,
every country in the world will launch.
Israel for sure, and Iran, they start going out.
China, wait for China to launch.
Taiwan, Pakistan, and India.
And most people don't realize this, we have nuclear weapons all over the world. There's numerous nuclear weapon sites that we have control over in other countries for a reason. That's why one of the reasons we have bases across the world. So you don't think those will go off? No, it's the end of humankind. And he played.
Did you hit subscribe yet? Did you hit subscribe to this podcast yet? I would really appreciate it if you did. And I do appreciate all the comments that we have been getting and the love that we have been getting. So thank you guys very much. I want to make sure I don't forget that every time we record. So thank you. Hit subscribe.
Every single human being on this planet should be looking at him and going, that is a horrible, horrible man. Just from this comment. Now, when you add in the Epstein stuff, how the hell is 30% of this country still supporting him? A pedophile that just threatened nuclear war and is raising tariffs again because his buddy is being put on trial for trying to overthrow a government. We are going to get taxed more because of it.
We need to think of a different word for a pedophile. That's the word that gets banned on TikTok. It's
Which
the
one?
P word.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So the stuff he did with Epstein, how about that?
Yes.
I have a piece later on the Epstein stuff. There was some more information that came out about that. Oh my gosh. That is so much worse than I thought.
We'll go live on that one later tonight. We'll do a live on that one. This one isn't live. So
sometime after 6:30.
Let's watch the clip. All in one post, he's giving away definitely classified information, and he's telling us why, because of a social media post.
So, yeah, let's look at that. So he threatened Russia with nuclear war and the decimation of all mankind over a tweet. What a
tweet.
Bitch.
A tweet. All right, here.
I can't begin to express how awful this is, and it makes me sad that the American news isn't running this into the ground.
Right. Well, we're talking about it here on the McMedia Network on the Almost Above Average podcast with Chris McIntyre and Jonathan Travis. Please hit subscribe. Help us get to 7,000 followers.
Pause. Often he moved 2 nuclear attack submarines to be ready to be used against people, including civilians, because these nuclear bombs are just detonate and explode. They are not going to go, this is a civilian. Nope, this is a United States citizen. Nope, this is this. No. It's an area of effect. It's going to blow the hell up a whole area.
And I'm still blown away that he's just offloading this type of information to the American public.
I mean, I understand that, and that makes sense. But him saying it's one thing. I don't really care that we know that it's happening.
Well, if he lied about it, let's say he didn't do it. Let's say he was lying about sending those nuclear subs into the Baltic or whatever. That's even worse to me. That's a guy with no accountability. He's saying shit. He's not doing what he says. That's not a man to me.
If
you say something to another man or a complete country and you don't do it, You're not a fucking man to me.
Threatening nuclear war should have been immediate impeachment. Period.
Anyway, another thing, he's not even like the president. I mean, he probably does have some pull in Russia, maybe a little bit of authority, but he's the ex president. Like, what? Why are we beefing with someone that's not even in power anymore? You know, actually
All right.
support that.
So no, I don't.
If that's
There's
true, if he told them if they get to a ceasefire point, I will be impressed, Donald Trump. I won't support
and it's
you.
not going to happen. And honestly, putting tariffs on Indian goods coming into U.S. is going to hurt the Indian population. That's about it. Some food and some clothing, whatever. Now, if you really want to hit India, and I made this comment somewhere else, you really want to hit them, sever our internet connection to them.
Our internet connection?
Yeah. So
we'll lose a lot of
our cut out all H-1B visas that are scheduled for any Indians coming over. Put heavy taxes on any companies that have outsourced any work, labor, or manufacturing to India until they stop. You want to really kick them in the nuts? Take away their business that we give.
Jonathan, are you going authoritarian on us?
No, but I'm saying taxing us, it's like, what's that statement? The beatings will continue until morale improves. And that's how I view tariffs.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Thinking that it's like, stop hitting yourself. It's like, no, that's not right. But yeah, the beatings will continue until morale improves. The tariffs are paid for by American citizens. Get over it, MAGA. That's the reality of it. Prices are going up. People are showing the tags of before and after. We see the effects. It's not complicated. Go ask any business owner what's really going on with importing. They'll tell you they're footing the bill in either price increases or they're paying the tariffs on the way in. That's how tariffs work. Tariffs work by collecting the money from one side or the other. And people are going to lose money and eat the cost. Go ask Walmart. They said, nope, not happening. They raised prices. Go ask every other major business like Amazon. They're raising prices. Go ask every major store manufacturer or distributor. They're raising prices. Why? To cover the tariffs. And who's paying that bill? Who's buying that product? You are.
You are.
You're paying more at the end of the day so that the government can take money and line the Republicans' pockets with it. Welcome to America. You got scammed.
MAGA, you got scammed. And you know, with all this depression and bad news that's going on in the country today, I wanted to share a little hope with all of you. No, maybe it wasn't meant to be.
Now, if they were taking tariff money and putting it into cancer research, that would be one thing. But let's be honest, they're canceling cancer research across the nation. So,
yeah, they're canceling most programs that Americans seem to like to live. And, you know, everything that we deem important, it seems to be like the Republican Party is trying to take out. Education. They want us to pay more for everything. They don't want brown people here.
Well, there's one comment I've been thinking about a lot. The more they turn away the government's control of things by taking away the funding, which gives them direction, the more independent it will be, and the less they can control it, and the more likely they get overthrown. Because people are going to want to educate their kids, and there's going to be plenty of companies out there that are more than happy to provide education, however biased or however leaning it is, and that's how we get into the next level of predicament. But for today, we're at the 20-minute mark. The nuclear thing has been discussed. I think we're good.
Yeah, let's do it. And hey, join us live if you. I'll post this here in a minute, but we're gonna go live later, and we'll see you.
Peace.
Bye. I gotta edit this one.